And we're back for round 3. So some new guitars came in for me to check out. I want to thank everybody for watching the first 2 videos and for the folks who've contacted me and quizzed me about my thoughts about the JCraft guitars that were sent to me. Thanks for your time. So what we have here is the sibling of the S1 Stratocaster. This is on the seat the T-1 Telly in natural, and on the floor on the stand is from JCraft's X series. It's the LTX-1, which is more of a modern affair compared to the other offerings. Let's take a look at this nice telly first. Again, I want to remind everybody to think about things within the context of these being budget priced guitars that are totally bang for your buck. If you look at the prices online, some of you guys probably even have pedals that cost more than this guitar. So you want to look at it through that lens. So here for the T1, you have the same nickel tuners, nice clean truss rod cavity as well, and the necks here are open pore satin. It's open pore satin maple. Very smooth, very comfy to play, and these also have the same rolled edges as the S1 with what I believe is a synthetic bone nut. You also have a flatter radius fretboard. Websites describe it as being 10 inches, but they feel flatter to me. And medium jumbo nickel frets. Again, these guitars are very consistent. When I say consistent, I mean they're all resonant. The build quality is the same throughout all the guitars that I've been able to talk about and play. And when I mean consistent, I also mean with the opportunities, such as the extra fret dressing that these guitars could benefit from. Again, considering the price point, fret dressing is not such a bad thing. Unlike the vintage series, this has a basswood body, and you could tell by looking at the clear finish that this is obviously not ash, not maple, not poplar. Basswood has a very distinct grain pattern. At the same time, the pickups aren't Alnico, and the bridge is a 6-saddle bridge, a lot more modern. I have yet to plug this in, so we're just going to talk about the build first, and we have some videos that'll be up soon, and I'm sure you're eager to hear how they sound. But if my hunch is correct, the T1 should be just about as good as the S1. Now, I love these necks. These necks are chunkier than usual. They're not thin. In fact, when I was thinking about it the other night, the neck shape is very close to the Music Man neck shape, because I used to own a Silhouette. I played a couple of their old guitars. Okay, so here's a serial number. If you take a look at how smooth the satin finish of the neck is. And once again, you have a tight neck pocket, and you get to see the basswood body. There's nothing much to talk about with Tellys. These are simple machines, and you can only go wrong with them if you use the wrong materials. But again, for the price, these are pretty good. I'm not sure if some of you guys are following some of the discussions that we had on some of my posts, where we were able to uncover that the vintage series, well, there's great evidence that shows that the vintage series are probably made in the same factory that Tokai has their Chinese-made guitars. So let's take a look at this bad boy. So this is from the X series, and one thing I'd like to point out is the entire guitar is finished in satin matte. And this is in black. It is blacker than the darkness inside a coffin on a moonless night. Light cannot escape from the darkness of this finish. I'm just kidding. Now this is supposed to be a modern telly. This has a rosewood board, so the earlier models had I forget what it was called. It was artificial wood. It was engineered wood. I think that's what they used to describe it. And then they started using stained maple. If you can recall, a couple of years back, there were these CITES issues with rosewood, and now take a look at the figuring here. Not bad for rosewood, right? Pretty good figure for rosewood. So the headstock is painted matte black. You also have black hardware, and then you've got 22 frets, medium jumbo frets, on your rosewood fretboard, and the pickups are supposed to be ceramic pickups. Plastic still on it. Have yet to plug this in, but the body is also a nice satin matte finish. You've got 6 saddle bridge and blacked out telly control plate. Black knobs too. Pretty neat if you ask me. Now, you're probably curious about what this looks like from behind, so you consistently have that black matte finish. The neck is again satin, smooth, satin matte. Open pore is what they describe it to be. So it's not a skinny neck. It is nice and comfortable, just the right amount of heft. It feels very good to play. Yeah, the cool thing about these guitars is, you know they're imports. You know they're gunning for good quality, and for the price, they can't be beat. Again, as with my other observations, a nice fret leveling or fret dressing would do. I love how there are no fret markers on the fretboard. I personally, when I have custom guitars made, I make sure they omit that. It's kind of like me tipping my hat towards classical players. Because when I started playing, I started playing classical music. Aside from this, if there's one thing I could recommend, I mean, go all out if you're going modern. Now this is pretty neat because it's 22 frets. If you really want to reach out for the modern player, you might want to go full board jumbo and go 24. 24 frets would be the way to go. Why go shy by sticking to 22? And some folks have been giving feedback recommending that maybe they should look into extended scale guitars. Very popular these days if we're really reaching out for the modern crowd. So here you go, folks. Excellent guitars for the money. They don't break the bank, and quality is pretty good. So drop me a line or message me if you have any questions, and hopefully maybe sometime within the month we should have some videos up of me demoing. I'll try to post some sneak clips as well. Cheerio.